I move them around, and it just depends on where we need them, and so forth. I use them in some other operations.
Do you keep an aircraft in all of them, or you just move one around and have a
Well, no, I keep aircraft in all of them.
You do?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will be. We got one in Marlton we want to bring down here, and we didn't have a hangar for it, and I came up on the list, so we're going to bring it home.
Oh, good.
And then I got one in Fayetteville, hangar up there when it's in town, and using it up there, and then I've got one I keep here, that's my toy, my man toy. We may sell this third one, I don't know what we're going to do yet. If we do, I'll be moving the Bonanza.
Yeah.
How's little Emily doing?
She's good. They're actually, Mary's on vacation too. She's gone on her second vacation, but and Emily's staying with her mom. So Mary's getting a little break right now.
Oh, keep on this.
Yes, she will.
Oh, she's 6 months old.
I think she's a little older. I think. I can't get it.
Oh, how wonderful it is. You got somebody to cookie check.
Oh, I know. You really don't realize how lucky you are until you don't have that.
You hadn't heard from,
Y'all have,
glad you hadn't heard from Axel, have you?
I talked to him earlier today, he's in town. He said he'd be here.
well, he's always late.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, that's
time
true.
to
That's
do it.
hard on an hour.
Is this good work? Moving forward, is the meeting here every time? How will I get in normally?
Probably back here. I'll come early. And,
Staying back there.
yeah.
So they've enforced the move to.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be here on camera, I guess.
Alright.
Keep him in time.
Yeah.
Just on the
You're supposed to tell somebody something, or if
Yeah,
it's the
they-
light, the screen earlier.
Yeah, somebody controlling that? Are we supposed to? Or?
No.
He's got a new toy and they want to use it.
Who's going to be watching this? Who would possibly watch this?
Oh, I can tell you several.
Really? That
I'll
reporter?
be watching.
That reporter?
Speaking of reporters.
No. But yes, I'm sure he
Not
would.
that one. The lady.
From the dim guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't remember either.
well, there's just several that kind of keep their thumb on.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's why we're here. We got nothing to hide.
No, but I can't make jokes anymore.
Sure you can.
Loud.
You don't owe anybody money, do you?
No.
Let her fly. And what board are you using, by the way? Three? You're on the east side of Donahue.
Hey guys, we're on the air.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting on our fearless leader.
Emily's.
On the east side.
Has he been in here before?
Hey, there he is.
Backside, okay. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hey.
Sorry, I'm late.
We are on the air.
The light is red. That means it's on.
Look over your agenda there, I fell down myself.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm late, everybody.
So that's,
Well,
cool. That gives
It's just 3 minutes.
Thanks, Fletch.
It's getting better. I remember Hayden and I used to enjoy it.
who we missing? McGee, Steve, Robbie's not gonna be in here.
Rick, this money, Carol, Rick Carroll.
His office is over there, 2 blocks away.
I don't know if he's coming.
I don't have her. Consider reminder.
So we've just got a quorum.
Sir?
So we've just got a quorum.
We
We've
do.
got 4 members out of 7.
Yeah. You go. We're live.
We'll match somebody up, no? So, minutes of last meeting, has everybody had a chance to review them? If so,
I make a motion that the minutes from the last meeting be approved.
Sir?
have a motion, and a second, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Financials.
Financials, okay, you have financials. The first page, to me, is the one that tells the most information. You can see we're up for the month, we're up pretty good. For the year to date, we're up 114,000. We may have talked about this in the meeting, but Tyler Winningham had some concerns about our month-end reports with Satterfield. And we were, it came to light that we have fuel in our fuel tanks, obviously. So what he is starting to do is put that, is put that in the report. So at the end of last month, end of August, I guess, we have $49,000 worth of fuel in our fuel tank, in our truck. So he's kind of figuring that in now. So that kind of helps the shortfall.
As it should be.
Yeah,
Inventory. It's what
It is,
normally do.
absolutely. And we just been thinking of it. But so far, a good year. If there's any questions, I'm sure attempt to answer.
If no questions or comments, otherwise, there a motion to approve the financials?
Move.
So, have a motion? And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Welcome, Dr. Meade.
Thank you.
And let's see, fuel service.
Fuel sales were good. As you know, we've had some record months. Last month, and again, we're talking about August, was not a record for jet. But we still have 15,000 gallons, which was a very good month compared to, the 3 years previous. It was better than those. 100 low lead. We did have a record. We had almost 6,100 gallons of 100 low lead. So it was a good month, another good month. I did see the preliminary numbers for last month for September, and they look good too. 17,000 and about 5,500. So continue on the strong fuel sales. And we anticipate keeping going until it gets too cold. For people to fly.
Any questions? Is there a motion to approve the fuel sales report? Motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Jessica Benson, Garver report.
All right, so for phase one, T-hanger building construction, which was the utility construction portion, all we were waiting on was a final, reimbursement from the ADA. Do you know if you got that, Jack?
I don't know.
Okay. That was submitted on, August 12th, so unless they're just going really slow, it's probably been received.
Okay.
So that job is done. The T-hanger building construction phase two. Right now we're waiting on a building permit. Once that's approved, they can continue to move forward. Jim, do you have any update? You want to give an update?
As far as we're ready to go for the slab, we're ready to put that in. The building's on time,
Yeah.
so we should start working as soon as that building's on.
They're gonna get with Jim and figure out quantities, and they're gonna go ahead and do a pay request
Okay, good.
since that building's on site.
Okay.
But the slab was originally scheduled, I guess, for today to be poured. We're gonna wait until we have final approval on the building permit to actually do anything. But like you said, the building's on site. Once that slab's poured and it's at strength, they can start erecting. And I think they should finish by December.
Oh, yes. Yes, I think we'll still be okay. Well, depending on the building permit.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will come soon.
Yes.
How
But
soon would that be? Would you reach?
she wouldn't give me a date. I asked her yesterday.
The different departments have to look at it, including Conway Corporation. Conway Corporation is very familiar with the area.
Yeah, it should be that. I mean, they've been involved in kind of way, so
They
can't
got their
imagine.
utilities in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the fire department, it's under review there too, and they've already looked at the plans and had pre-approved the plans, and so I wouldn't think it would take too much longer. I hope.
How long does that entire process take from beginning to end now?
They won't tell you.
Well, it seems like it's a lot longer than historically it has been. I guess they've started running it through more departments
It
now.
goes through three departments now, more than that.
Sanitation, fire, Conway Court. And,
Well, we'll need to start earlier than if we do another project, keep that in mind and kind of get out in front of it a little better. So
Yeah.
it's incumbent on us to do that.
The airport layout drawing is the next project, and that's been done and submitted, and I haven't heard anything.
I've got it. I'll say something about
Okay.
that possibly later on.
And then the last thing I have is we need to discuss the CIP for this year and
Okay.
projects to add. We don't have to do that today, but that's due in November.
Okay.
So we need to do that. And that's it.
Question, let's see, today is October 1st is the beginning of the 2022 fiscal year, is that right?
Yes.
So do I recall correctly that the runway extension was included in the budget for 2023?
The survey, design, and environmental assessment is for 2023. And the bidding and construction is 2024. So that'll move up on this next CIP, and then we have bank funds on 2025 and bank funds on 2026. We'll have to decide if we're rearranging or if we're going to stick with that, or what project we need to stick in there in 2027.
The runway extension would be paid 90/10 for the
FAA, yep.
10 by 88.
10 by ADA, but so you'll have, for the runway extension, for the bidding and construction, you'll have 420 banked. We've estimated the project at $1,249,258. The ADA match will be $125,000, and the FAA has at least preliminarily committed to $705,000 additional AIP to make that project.
You recall when Charlie Weaver was out there, he was gonna do the 500 more feet for $250,000.
We should have got a contract right there.
We should have just poured it and asked
Just
permission
done it.
later.
Yeah.
And the fellow who was then the FAA project manager for us assured us that we would get that, and I've forgotten what time frame he said. Then he retired, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that starts the whole process
Yeah,
over.
That's Bill Bell, wasn't it? Or was it, that was,
It wasn't Bill Bell. It was. I think I remember that name.
yeah.
I can't remember what his name was. We dealt with him a lot. He was good. Until he retired.
Yeah.
One of our consultants a long time ago told me that an extra 500 feet was huge for economic.
501 feet.
501.
Yeah.
Are there certain jets that have to have that to land at our airport? Are there insurances?
It depends on its insurance driven and performance of the aircraft driven. But many insurance companies require over 5,000 feet of runway. That's why you go 5,001, which is what we've got now.
Well, we've got
5,500, and we got over the 5,001, which satisfies most of the insurance requirements for business jets and so forth. And that gets off into a lot of things about accelerated stop-go distances and things of that nature. And then you get on out in the next category. You want to go 6,000 or more, so you'd go 6,000 on 1 foot, and to meet or exceed the insurance requirements. And then you've got weight considerations, and landing gear configurations, and all that sort of stuff that figures into the depth and what we can handle and what we can't, which is for another day in discussion. That ties back into the 1 foot.
So it's on there. We'll hope that every year we submit the CIP, it's essentially them signing off again on, we're committing some money to it.
So we're ready to start thinking about after our extension, what we're
Yes,
looking at next.
yes.
How
Unless we
much-
want to bank again, but I don't know if you've got something that you've wanted to add or,
We've got a lot of things we like that.
yeah.
Is there a motion to approve the Garver report?
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Jack, the director's report.
Okay, you got a copy of the director's report, and it was written earlier in the month, so there's been a few updates, I guess. Okay, and Jessica covered pretty much everything on the T hangar. We do have a waiting list of 39. We may have added one today. And then on the maintenance payment project, the plan is to pour the slab Wednesday. They're going to pour it this week, and rain got them. So the plan is to pour it next Wednesday, and then at that point it will be a matter of waiting on the building account, which should come in November. So we're looking at a completion date of probably February, sometime early next month, next year.
Has he got his building permit?
He got his building permit.
He's smarter than we are.
That's a long story.
Yeah. I'm sure it is.
Okay, on the on our rescue grant, airport rescue grant, we got 23,000. We have spent that for appropriate things. We did a deep cleaning and sanitation of the entire terminal building, carpets and furniture and everything, and then we also did some power washing. If you remember in front of your hangar, it's just that black stuff that gathers, on everybody's driveways and everything. So we got that cleaned up. It looks much better. So we spent that money, submitted it to the FAA, got reimbursed, and then last Tuesday, the city council approved the appropriation to put it back into our budget. So if it came out of building maintenance, that part of that money goes back into building maintenance. A big chunk of that went toward overtime. We've had a lot of overtime. Some of it a lot of it due to COVID, and then a lot of it we got reimbursed for. So if there's an early call out, and we have a lot of early call outs and late call outs, but so our guys go out there 4:30, 5:30, whatever it is in the morning, and then they get two hours of overtime for that. But then the owner of the airplane pays a early call out fee, so that covers that. So that goes back into the fund. So we've had about so far this year we've had about a little over $10,000 worth of overtime, and $7,600 of that was reimbursed, was paid through fees. So a little over $3,000. We have one employee that got COVID and was out for a couple of weeks, and then that added to the overtime to cover for him. And then we had some that had quarantined because they were exposed to him. So anyway, hopefully we passed on that.
Did Tim have to quarantine?
He did not. He did not. He was not there. It was the employee that was on a holiday, and he was there. I was there, and some others were there, but we didn't have those folks.
Beginning, look, Jack, you're still trying to hire a part-time line person. We're going to get to that.
Glad you asked that. We have interviewed 3 folks so far. We got about 8. We got about 8 applications. More than half of them. No, not more than half of them. About 3 or 4 of them didn't respond back, and I found out that if you're on unemployment, you just have to fill out an application and you stay on unemployment. So apparently that's what we have. Some that look qualified, but couldn't work. We did interview a young man today that has some experience, and then we're interviewing someone Monday. We've interviewed 3 that have had some valid experience, and we're hoping to pull a trigger sometime.
What's the pay scale for those people? Where do they start out at?
$13.65.
What if it's somebody that has a lot of experience?
$13.65.
Okay.
So we got budget coming up, and we're going to try to maybe get that up there, but that's kind of, well, that's just out of date.
Is that city policy or what?
Yeah. The positions are slotted in a certain amount. This position, which is line tech 1, is at that
Regardless of experience.
Yeah. If you're in that position, that's what you need. Yeah, there's no experience. At some point, in what we're hoping is that Hunter will be leaving in December, or end of December, when he graduates. So we're hoping to get somebody in part-time, train them up, and then they will be able to go full-time. And the guy we interviewed today is interested in doing it. So, and we've had 2 that were former military included in, and that just helps. I mean, they're more mature, and they're good at it. So, yeah, we hope we'll hire somebody within next week or so. We don't have a whole lot of money in the budget, just $5,000, but that'll get us about probably 20 hours a week. That's about what we need.
And in December, we'll be back doing it again.
Yes.
If Hunter leaves, we'll be right.
Yes.
Could come and go. That's part of it.
Part of it, and we hate to lose Hunter. He's been great.
Yeah.
He is great. He's still there.
Does he already have a job commitment right for December?
He's had some offers. I don't know. But he's had 4 offers.
So he likely will be leaving sooner after December.
100%. Fuel sales, we talked about fuel sales. I think that's all in my report. Let me just go. Okay. Yeah, that's all in my report. I'll go on the new business or old business. That's it.
Okay. Any questions about the director report? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Smooth.
A motion second and a third. All in favor? Thanks, gonna pass. Any opposed? You need to look at that number.
I do, yeah. Okay, so make the same together. Okay, flight simulator. This is something we talked about, I guess, way back, and we've had some interest in it from our clubs, and we had purchased one. We were able to use the Rescue Act funds for that. It wasn't very expensive, and we'll have certain rates that you can use it. It is FAA certified. It's the only one we looked at that was, and it's arrived. It came in 12 boxes, I guess, or more. So it's out of the boxes, but it's still in pieces. Hopefully we'll get that up and going. And I think we're looking at a lot of things. As you know, we're going to lose a big chunk of money in January. Our ground lease from the old airport property, and we're trying to find out some ways to cover that. This, I think, it'll pay for itself probably pretty quickly. It was only $7,500, and we'll charge probably anywhere from $40 to $60 an hour to use it. So we're looking forward to getting that going. The other thing is something we've talked about in the past is that CAA, Corporate Aircraft Association, I think that's what it stands for. We're in the process of applying for that. We talked to people that say that it will increase our fuel sales from transient people. So it's a strange process. You apply, and then all the CAA members vote on whether to accept you or not, and then they tell you if you're accepted. It's a 3-year contract, and you have to set your rates at least 10 cents lower than your lowest rate that you sell fuel for. Jet fuel. It's a 3-year contract, but you can cancel the contract, either party can cancel the contract. I think it's like 10 days or something like that. So it's not a huge commitment. You know, I think we'll see some increased traffic. I don't know how much. We're in a great location, as you know. We're in the center of the country. People are doing flying across the country will be an opportunity for them. And apparently, a lot of pilots look for that. Look for CAA. It will still, the prices will still be higher than our base customer price. We give a price discount for base customers, so it won't affect our base customers. But just basically, it'll just be bonus fuel sales. People coming in.
Do we have any pilots that mentioned that they're happy about our ABOS 3 system?
Do we have any pilots mention they're happy about something?
Yeah, about our cloud height.
Not really on our cost.
You said.
Well, yeah, we have. It's been a great improvement over what we started with. It didn't have the cloud ceiling heights and so forth. And anytime you can get more data, more information about the weather, the better off we are. So, yeah, you know, by and large, the people that fly instruments especially are pleased with us adding that. And that's what we did that 2 years ago
More than
or 3 or something like that. It was quite an improvement.
that.
Jack, going back to the CAA, now that didn't cost us anything to be a member, if I understand it.
No.
That's just the people that are members on the purchasing end. They have like a $500 a year membership fee, I think.
There's a membership fee. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it doesn't cost the.
Is there any? You know, that sounds like it's not any way we can lose on it by being in it. If we can attract more volume.
Right.
Is there any way we can track that as the time goes on, you think, or we have a system?
Sure.
that we
Yeah, it'll be easy to track because it'll be tracked. It'll be charged completely different than the rest of our thing.
I think it'd be good if we had that just for justification, if no other reason.
Yeah.
And I was in Rogers yesterday on a flight and I was talking with those folks, and they of course are CAA up there at the Rogers Airport, and have been for a long time. 2 or 3 of the companies I fly for used to, and one I still do, are CAA members. And you're right, we do. As we go across the country, we have one in Las Vegas, for example. There's 3 or 4 FBOs. We always go to the CAA FBO because the fuel's cheaper there. So it does have some of those advantages.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that we can do that as a standalone FBO though. So, but they're going to do it like 10 cents below our lowest
Right.
cost.
That's what we.
Well, that's the same reason they do on the competing FBOs, and that's the same logic. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if we get
Anything that brings more traffic in will help. You know.
Did you say that's for jet traffic only?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's corporate aircraft association, and it doesn't apply to Part 135 operators. Charters, it only applies to Part 91, which you know is corporate, individual aircraft. And it covers more than just aircraft fuel. The corporation, the organization does. They get on out into a lot of other amenities that go into the FBOs and off into hotels and motels. And it's a pretty wide ranging organization for discounting services and stuff.
And I'll give props to Lloyd again. He worked hard on that. It is a long application. You have to put all your fees in there, your ramp fees. They even ask, okay, if you have a minimum, fuel purchase, we waive the ramp fee. Okay, so if the minimum purchase is 200 gallons, if they buy 100 gallons, do they get half off on the ramp fee? I mean, it got into that kind of detail. You know, your lab service charges, your GPU, all just everything. You know, and so he worked hard on that, and we're going to let the city attorney kind of look over it and make sure he likes it.
Well, that's pretty common.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
One of the common questions, going back on cost centers and stuff on this simulator, are we going to be able to track that as well
Yes.
for future use?
It's
And
got a some kind of a thing. And,
Yeah.
You know, everybody will have to plug their code in and,
No, I mean, as far as our accounting system, we can, generally what I'm used to seeing in accounting principles is you have cost centers and revenue centers,
okay.
and you look and see how each one's doing and make decisions based on the performance or lack of on some of those. And I think, you know, it's always good to have, if you have to defend an operation or something of that nature.
Yeah.
If it's not, you know, more trouble than it costs more than it saves or it brings to the table.
Lloyd again is good
Yeah.
at that.
I think that might be good for us in the future.
Right.
That's just a suggestion. I mean.
No, that's good.
New business.
I do have new business. It's not really new business, it's old business, very old business. So we had an inspection in August of 2019. FAA came and inspected us, found some stuff wrong, including our airport layout drawing. We had some sinkholes. We had, I was going to run this down. What else just?
You had some
yeah.
improper hanger use.
Yeah, proper hanger use. We had lease, non-aeronautic uses on the airport that we didn't have leases for. We were basically, we had a contract with the farmers that are farming in the area, but not on the offices and those sorts of things. So we, when we got there, we started working on these things and pretty well got them wrapped up. And I want to submit it all at the same time, so we're kind of waiting on our layout drawing to submit that to the FAA. We did submit that to the FAA, and we got a beautiful letter from Gary Loftus. He said, in reference to the post-inspection land use report dated September 10th, 2019, this office has received confirmation that the land use inspection corrective action plan accepted by FAA on January 14th is complete. All items requiring attention have now been corrected and or updated. You may consider this letter as official notification that the areas of concern identified in the land use inspection report from August 27th through 29th, 2019 are closed.
Wow.
That made my day right
Yeah,
there.
that's pretty neat.
Because we've been working hard on that and tracking those, everybody down and getting, and we are getting revenue from all from the farmers and from the office use, the ag operation. So we've got a little additional coming in. So,
Where were the sinkholes?
just out on it's a non-safety area, so it's basically around the drainage ditches, where the drainage ditches come out. So we had some riprap put in those in.
How often does the FAA do those inspections?
They do them when they're asked to come. What'd you say?
Just randomly.
Yeah, if they're
Yeah,
asked,
this one was requested.
it's requested. So yeah, mainly when they're requested. Yeah, just random. They've got a lot of state race up there, so they don't get around here. That's all I've got. We'll talk about the next meeting.
Sure.
So this is October. The October meeting will be October 28th. I will be out of town, or we could wait until November.
Pretty much what we did this one.
It is. And it may be time to think about everything.
Yeah.
We've got a lot going on, but it's starting to get momentum, and we can always send out reports. Anyway. So you want to try for 11/25 would be the November.
The 25th, how's it? Big Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
How's Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving Day.
Can we not just have it early November like we did this one for September, early October?
Just like first Thursday in November.
Fifth is a Friday, if you want to stick with that.
Let's do Thursday's when we normally.
Yeah. Maybe November 4th.
Okay.
Haven't we
Makes me no difference, I just want to.
No, that's gonna work.
And we traditionally skip the December meeting because of the holidays.
I don't remember.
We did last year.
Do it, yeah. Okay, no.
Anything else?
Oh, won't be good.
November.
November 4th. Wait a minute, I'm sorry, I'm looking. Yeah, I'm sorry. Look wrong.
So we're set for November 4th.
November 4th.
Anything
I
else?
can take care of the November meeting as well as the October meeting then, and
Yeah.
not get involved in Thanksgiving. And then maybe have an early December meeting, not skip 2 months. Unless we got business, you know.
Yeah.
If we don't,
We don't have bid.
Mhm.
maybe cross seven, you get to it.
Let the chairman.
Yeah. We get some big bucks.
Oh, one other thing we need to start thinking about. Well, we have 2 folks rolling off at the end of this year, off the committee. Just need to start thinking about who would be appropriate. We are required to have 4 pilots. And right now, I guess we've got 5 pilots. 6. So 2 of those pilots will be rolling off. So we could add a pilot, 2 pilots, 0 pilots. And we talked about people in the construction industry previously. So, anyway, just maybe we think about it. Would be good.
And those applications will be when? End of the month, end of October?
November 1st. His end today's like having the notice, public notice on it.
Okay.
Deadline's November 1st.
Okay. There we go.
If no other business, will be adjourned.
All right. Cut.
Do y'all send that out to, like, if your emails to anybody that you want to